guys gonna share with us your innovation?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hello judges, we are the Coldwater 7th grade LEGO Robotics team and we are excited to be here today.
I'm Shelly the Sea Turtle. I'm quite the celebrity.
I'm Adrian.
My name is Braxton. I'm Bryce.
I'm Max.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Ellie. I'm William.
I'm Jacob.
Woo, this year was tiring. We had a lot of ideas regarding our project, but none of them really inspired us.
It was a turtle disaster. It made me want to shell a tear.
First, some of us wanted to save the coral. We researched coral bleaching and learned that coral grows only 10 centimeters a year. It is expensive to transplant coral as coral is very fragile.
While some wanted to research coral, others of us wanted to try to design machines to pick up metals and plastic from the ocean. We determined that many of these machines had been designed by others and the concept was very complex.
Our final idea came from a resource that we read that discussed how we were spending too much time and money on fixes to the problems instead of more effective solution would be to educate our youth on how to conserve the earth. Education. Education is needed to prevent the problem instead of solving the problem.
We had quite the selection of ideas.
We decided to focus on our idea of educating. We believe that we can use accelerated reader, also known as AR, to help educate our youth about conserving our world. Accelerated reader, AR, is a computerized program used in schools to help students manage and monitor their independent reading practice.
Kids select books at their appropriate reading level and read them at their own pace.
Then they take a short quiz on the computer to check their understanding and earn points based on the book difficulty level. This allows teachers to track their students' reading progress and provide support.
This encourages students to choose books that are challenging but not too difficult.
We sent out a Google form to teachers of grades 2nd to 8th to see how AI is being used in their school. Unfortunately, we only got 7 responses.
I'm not totally sure why.
It seems our 2nd grade is not using AR. AR used in Coldwater schools typically starts in 3rd grade. Many teachers have great things to say about AR.
Show me about it.
They like that it sets goals, encourages reading, and keeps track of comprehension levels.
Teachers feel AR teaches students responsibility and prepares them for older grades. It keeps students accountable and it is quick and easy to see if students are reading.
Students can explore different genres and develop a passion for reading.
Did you hear about the book written by a turtle? It was a New York Times bestseller.
The teachers report that AR is standardized and computerized. Teachers report that it is an easy way for teachers to track the amount of reading a student is doing.
As with any program, the teachers also reported some negatives about AR. Some teachers feel that AR puts too much pressure onto reading for points and specific levels.
Teachers also said that AR only tests basic recall information and not higher level reading questions. Students would benefit from higher level questions.
On the Google form, teachers reported the number of AR points that their students are required to get during each 9 weeks. Third grade students are not focused so much on points. They have to read 2 chapter books each 9 weeks.
5th grade students typically need 12 points per 9 weeks, and 6th graders typically need 10 to 15 points per 9 weeks. As far as 7th and 8th graders, they typically need 1 to 2 books per month, but these are not point-based.
We were curious if other schools in our area are using AR. We sent out a Google Forms to all the principals in our area in Mercer County about AR. We got a couple responses from them and they had various answers. One school does not use AR at all. Another school uses AR from grades 2 to 8, and then it's similar to our school.
Then we have the perfect idea. Let's celebrate.
Our project idea is to expand AR by adding an additional program within this website. This program is
Turtle Tokens. Here's our turtle tokens. Using the AR system, students will now be able to earn turtle tokens as well as their AR points.
Whoa, you startled me.
The Turtle Tokens program would feature stories that educate students about the conservation of the earth. The stories would be offered at all reading levels so that the students of all ages and grades can learn how to save our earth.
Each story will be worth a certain number of turtle tokens. The students will be required to get a certain number of turtle tokens each 9 weeks.
This is the homepage of the AR program. We'll give you a tutorial.
As you can see, we would add a link to the Turtle Tokens homepage. This homepage.
Students would be able to choose your stories that focus on all of conservation and how to keep our world clean. All stories would have different levels and genres, so students can learn at their level.
Teachers can set expectations for their students. For example, students may be asked to earn 1 or 2 turtle tokens each 9 weeks. This will keep it fun and exciting for students.
Turtles just want to have fun.
We think this will meet our goal of focusing on educating our youth to prevent pollution in the first place.
Do you have any questions for us?
I do. Yes, this is so fun. I love this idea. So, you talked about in the beginning, like as you were ideating, it was kind of difficult, right, to like find something where you could like make an impact. Did I have that correctly? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So, how did you guys get from like having all it was like hard to kind of have an idea to like this particular idea? Was it one person's? Did you all like build off of it? Were you like, I hate AR, how can we make it more fun? Like how did you get here?
I'll take that.
Okay.
Alright, so I have a sister that was also in Lego League a couple years ago, and she read our program and said it was a little bit boring and we needed to add some jokes. So she made up all the Shelly jokes about it, and that gave us a spark in our brain, and we just created turtle tokens, and like people thought of AR and stuff.
Wow.
I'll add on to that. We also thought that AR isn't maybe the funnest program, so maybe it was a little bit harder to get AR points because like you maybe have to read a certain genre. So we thought it'd be more exciting to learn about something different than a regular book.
Okay. Did you guys talk to any experts in terms of like, did you call the accelerated reading program a letter, or did you talk to them about, or anybody about how hard it might be to implement this?
I can add on to that. So we were planning to do that, but we didn't have time. So we decided that we were gonna send out to like principals.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe they would have some insight.
Awesome. Sounds like you guys have some good feedback from some educators to like bolster your idea to a company of sorts.
Add on to that, we sent a Google form out to every principal in Mercer County.
Whoa. Whoa.
In every county. What? Whole county.
The whole county.
Mercer County.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so how did you guys, like in building the forms and collecting back the data, and coming up with the ideas for turtle tokens, like did just part of your team work on it, or did you guys work on it collectively, or how did you work through that?
So we split into 2 groups. We kind of had like a robot group and then a project group. So we would sometimes have full days where the whole group is there, which is when we all came together and made our big idea. And sometimes we would have just of us like working on making the forms, doing all like the outside work. But mostly we all came together to make the whole program like turtle tokens.
Okay, so you like worked collectively, but also did some divide and conquer stuff?
Yes.
Cool, okay. Was there anything, you have a lot of research about the AR program. Did you guys learn a lot through that?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot, okay.
Definitely how much people use the AR program. Like
There's a
I
lot
know
more
our
stuff.
school has it, but like
A lot more people than we expected used it.
yeah.
I think that's a really great way to get a message out there. So I love that. I think that could be something to think about, is like if you were able to implement this, what impact it could have in like 10 or 15 years from now for all those people who are getting turtle tokens, like what might be on their mind as when they're adults and they can take some action. Because I can tell you, when I was a kid, maybe when you were a kid, like they started these commercials with the pop can rings, and like
Yeah.
you should like
Yeah.
cut them because it might strangle a duck. But you guys could you could be like having that same impact with your turbo tokens. Really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also to kind of add on to like what we've said, turbo tokens can also be like that, like a actual like coin that you could like have like in a little pouch of all your turbo tokens, or they can be digital onto like a
Yeah.
program like AR points.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Cool idea.
Are you guys ready for your robot design?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
I think so. Thank you.
Right. Oh,
You can
our robot design is called Spike V3.
It features a lift located at the front of the robot.
We broke into 2 groups to target our missions, and here's group 1.
We begin with the jig that lines up the robot.
We have a pusher attachment that pushes the unexpected encounter lever that safely releases the unknown creature. We collect the unknown creature and release it into the cold sea.
We then use the pusher attachment to push the latch on the anglerfish to guide the anglerfish back to the shipwreck.
Next, we send over the submersible. We raise our lift, which raises our pusher attachment, and send the submersible to the opposing field waters.
We head back home, we switch attachments and head to the Sonar Discovery. We have a long hook that goes down and drags the Sonar Discovery arm to the right to scan for nearby objects or animals. One whale is revealed.
Here are some examples of programming that we use.
Okay.
Very cool.
We use gyro sensor to more accurately control the sense where the robot is. Then we changed how before we had all of the runs on one program, so we made them all separate programs, so if it cancels the run, we don't have to restart completely, we can just go back and do one.
Wait, sorry, I don't mean to stop you, but can you just say that again? What did you just say you did different?
We separated the runs so that, because at the beginning we had it all on run one, so sometimes the robot would cancel it,
Okay.
and then we'd have to redo the whole thing. So we separated them so that we could get some points rather than none. And now to group 2.
Our first mission is a coral nursery. We made a peg that we put on the bottom of a robot to drive the coral structure out of its orbit. Once we bring it back home, we put the structure on another hook on the top of our robot. Finally, we drive the robot back to the nursery and put it on the bar. Sadly, we could not keep the coral in its orbit.
For our second mission, we returned to the coral nursery, but this time we are flipping the coral buds. We built a contraption that has a clasp. We drove the robot to the buds and raised the lift. Finally, we brought the lift back down onto the buds, which flipped them. Just to be sure the buds are secure, we turn quickly and return home.
Our last mission is the raise the mast. For this mission, we drive to the mast and we use a ramp action to rise the bar, which then raises the mast. Finally, we turn around and we head back home.
Here are some examples of our programming. As we can see, we are a lot less.
In conclusion, we built a robot to fit the standards that the board sets for us.
Also, we created a robot that is simple, but also very accurate and reliable. And at the same time, it is effective. Do you have any questions for us?
My questions are, what was your mission strategy? Because it looks like you guys did a lot of coding work here.
I'll take that.
Yep.
So, group 1s, I don't really know much about them. Group 2, we didn't have as much time as group 1 did to get all the missions on the right side of the board. So on the left side of the board, we found the missions that were closer to home so it'll take less time and we would save time more efficiently. One of our runs takes a little bit of time.
I'll add on to that. We also decided when picking missions that we could try to use one attachment for as many missions as possible to save time for going with them.
Alright. Now, when you guys split into two separate groups, so basically you have like blue home and then red home, right? Or team red and blue. Did you guys rotate roles? Or did certain people focus on coding the whole time? How did you guys do?
I'll take this. So like in group 2, like we all do some programming. Like we have, like at the beginning, we had a designated programmer, designated builder, designated like runner, like practice runner and stuff like that. And then once we get into like maybe like a couple weeks, once we get into it, and then we all switch. So like we all like have turns programming, running, and building.
I can add on to that. So a lot of people, we had, so we'll have coders, but then we'll all come together to like make sure we all know what's happening in the code. So we'll like look at the code and we say, oh yeah, that's how that works. So we can all like see how that, we all still know what's happening, but we still have one person who's doing most of the coding. So we're still working as a team, but one person's doing the actual coding.
Okay. Alright.
What was a really hard thing that you guys, had to work through, like, with coding?
I'll take that. Well, for group 2, I think it was getting along.
Okay, I get that.
So sometimes we try this mission and some people want to, let's say, raise the mast. Some people want to do a little bar to like drag up the mast and other people want to raise it like that. We sometimes had an argument about that, but then the parents helped us settle through it and agree on one thing.
How did you come to agree on one thing in that particular situation?
I'll add on to that. So like through 2 and like the raise the mass, we tried it like both ways, like as many times as we can possibly, and just like switch out the program and stuff.
See which one's more consistent.
Yeah.
I have, I think my final question is, I didn't hear too much about any sensor use. Now I looked through your code and it looks like you are using a gyro sensor. I see y'all use here. Is there anything else that you guys use on your robot?
But we were thinking about using, what was it, a color sensor?
Color sensor.
We were thinking about it, but then it was hard for
There's
them.
just a lot of colors.
Yeah.
Like it was really vibrant.
And on the board this year, it's like all the same color. We would need to find the right blue. Like there's blue all around the board. If we just put blue into the robot, it's just gonna go everywhere. You would need to be like light beige blue or something, and it's gonna be hard.
I am interested in your robot design itself. Did you guys come up with this design yourself?
No, we did not, but we they told us to put these things on there. Like we watched a YouTube video, we told us how to put these things on there. They were like a little bit too complex for us, so we cut down a little bit.
Yeah, so we would look for robot designs that would be like we said, like work for the board and like be able to do the missions on the board so that they could like work better. So we tried to do a compact design because there's a lot of missions on this board. There's very little room space, so we wanted to make it very small, but also very like we have this gear back here that can move anything. The lift helps us a lot with pushing and lifting, of course, and so basically we tried to define a design and we would make it better, and we would add things like the lift we added, stuff like that.
Another thing on the robot is we've never had luck with these ball joints here, so we've added these plastic wheels so they can just slide, and that has helped us a lot.
I'll add on to that. So like last year, our robot was like super bulky, like really big. But then this year, like last year's board, like we had like a problem about like trying to get to places that like really tight. So we decided to go with like a slimmer build, so we can get through places and everything. Really easy.
Last year's ours was just, it looked like a block. It couldn't move around that well, it did help to move side to side. And we watched a YouTube tutorial about it. It was hard to build. It was
It's at least 3
It
practices.
took us 3 practices. We did that building 1 practice, and I'd say it's working a lot better. Also, it did help last year that we could move side to side too on our lift. It could help us, but a lot of times it got jammed. It got jammed a lot.
There's a lot of trial and error with that robot, but this one, there's really slim amount of times that there was really big problems with it.
And last year, another problem with our robot, I think it was because it was heavy. We actually burnt out a motor that during a competition.
Yeah,
We had to run it back to the pit.
We got a
for
0
Yeah, also the wheels would always get like stuck in the robot kind of, so we'd have to like keep cleaning the wheels and like finding new wheels.
It was like an F1 pit stop. After every single one, we had to change the wheels because after one run it was so heavy, it would just burn out the wheels. So you have to clean them and then put it back on them.
And we was like halfway, we wanted to flip, so.
I have one last thing. Did you guys present your innovation project to like your principal or your?
We presented it to some teachers.
Yes.
I think there were.
You guys would be great ambassadors at your own school to even start that program. Even if you do FLL next year, and I think you could even think about like if you were able just to implement your turtle tokens at your own school in some way. I would love for you guys to come back as a team again and talk about the impact you make within your own school. Because I feel like you guys would be great ambassadors. That is so
Our
cool.
principal actually once walked into our practice. He
Yeah.
was like, yeah, he just once
I
accidentally
bet you
walked
would be
in
very
there.
proud of you.
We were definitely hoping to talk to like somebody who's really good with like that kind of stuff. Like we were hoping to present to our principal about this idea, even if we're not moving on, we still want to present it and try to like build on to turtle tokens.
I love that. You guys should be proud. Very good job.
Thank you guys so much. We're running out of time. We went over a little bit yet. Oh, they're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
They haven't taken that time for you.
Oh, yeah, okay. Am I confused
Yeah,
about that?
they're about done.
Okay.
Because we have 10 minutes for the next one, right?
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I don't think so.
Anything else to share? Anything you want specific feedback on?
Sorry.
No, that's mine.
But you keep that.
I get to keep this?
Yep.
Oh, I am so honored. Thank you.
We do appreciate your time.
Well, we appreciate you
Thank you.
and all your hard work.
I
This is
will-
a great idea.
I do
We're an
wanna
old
say,
seven.
guys, I am super proud that you guys have managed your time really well in this, because I know that's been a struggle for some teams, so I really appreciate that. I'd also like to see you guys focus a little bit more of your robot design conversation on the process and how you guys decided what
What was
I lost
your
my-
strategy?
yeah, what is your strategy on
when you were
it?
going after things?
Focusing a little bit on how you guys decided the missions that you did, which you explained in the questions.
Yep.
But putting that in the forefront of your presentation. That'd be really helpful.
When you share about this again in your school at the next level, you talk about the impact you're gonna make, because it will make a big impact on reading, on sustainability. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Super good job, guys.
Yeah.